Hi, I'm Meg Dendler. Welcome back. We're continuing with our read aloud of Why Kimba Saved the World, my new book. We're on chapter 17 and it's called Machines. After the stress of her report that morning, Kimba found that her afternoon nap ran much later than usual. Before she knew it, Kimba realized that everyone had arrived home. Not only were they home, but Daddy was whistling in the kitchen, and she could hear dishes clinking in the sink and water running. The family had already had dinner, and she had slept through it all. Stirring quickly from one of her favorite napping spots on the dining room chair, Kimba heard the creaking of Mama sitting down in the big spinning chair in front of the machine in the office. The clicking and clacking noises began. She had already started. The white cat was missing her opportunity. Kimba trotted quickly to the office door, but there, blocking her way, was the beast. In her delay to follow Mama into the office, he'd gotten settled in first. The beast loved to sleep with his big head and shoulders sticking out one side of the door, while his backside stuck into the office itself. The only way to get past him was to slip by on one side without getting rudely sniffed, or worse. From her normal spot on the window ledge near Mama's desk, Kimba had watched Miss Fatty Cat try to give the beast the slip many times, so she could hide from Leia under the office sofa. But the big round cat was too slow and ponderous about it, and often felt the odd need to stop and smell the beast's toes at the last minute. Because she couldn't resist the temptation to smell, Fatty Cat usually got a cold beast nose on her bottom as she went by. He liked to nip at tails, too. Sometimes Fatty would spin around and hiss at the beast just in time. Usually not. This time, Kimba realized that she was going to have to slip past the beast in just the same way. With so much to learn in only 2 days, she couldn't waste a single minute. The beast appeared to be sleeping, but it was often hard to tell, and it was easy to wake him up. He could smell a cat coming. Mama was in sight range, but the beast could still get a nip in before she had a chance to step in. She was so busy clicking and clacking on the machine that she wouldn't see until it was too late. Kimba sauntered slowly up to the doorway, a few feet away, and then hunkered down to assess the situation. The beast's nose twitched and his toes flexed and clenched, but his eyes did not open. What was he dreaming about? Nipping cattails? Kimba didn't like the thought of it. Maybe if she moved slowly, he wouldn't wake up. There was a small opening along the side of the doorway between his front legs and his back legs. It was her best shot. Kimba began to slink along quietly, rubbing her side against the door frame as if this journey past the beast's large teeth was no big deal. Slowly, slowly, she rubbed along until she thought she was free and clear. But just as she reached his feet, the beast snorted and then raised his head and lifted it toward her. She turned to face him square in the eyes and just inches from those teeth. In a panic, Kimba did the first thing that came to mind. She arched up her back, hissed, and gave the beast's nose a swift swipe with her paw, with her claws. With a startled yipe, the beast leapt up and ran to Mama. In the sudden thrashing of claws and huge body as the beast ran for help, Kimba scrambled under the coffee table and tried to catch her breath. Being trampled was even worse than being nipped. "Oh my," Mama exclaimed, "poor puppy." Kimba hunkered under the table next to the commotion and was not sure what would come next. Mama took a tissue and dabbed at the beast's nose. "It looks okay, you beast," she sighed. "Go lie down, Max, and leave those babies alone." The beast sulked back to his spot in the doorway, head held low. He gave a sad glance at Kimba under the table. There was a big red welt on his nose. As he plopped back down, the beast grumbled, "You didn't have to do that. I just wanted to see which one of you it was." "You scared me," Kimba admitted. "I wasn't gonna bite you," he snuffled. "I was just giving you a sniff to make sure you weren't the annoying round one. She puts her cold nose in between my toes when I'm sleeping. I hate that." "Sorry," Kimba said guiltily. The beast sighed again, licked his nose twice, plopped his head back down on the far side of the door with a sad harumph, and then closed his eyes. Kimba felt lousy. That scratch looked like it hurt, but it wasn't the first time the big black beast had gotten his nose tagged by a scared or angry cat, and it certainly wouldn't be the last time either. Kimba had bigger things to worry about. Mama was already back to her clacking. Kimba hopped up onto the desk next to her, determined to learn what she could about this machine. She looked down at the keys. Kimba had never really noticed them before. She walked in front of the screen to get a better look at them, but Mama just shooed her away. "Kimmy, I can't see the computer screen," she said. She swooped Kimba up, gave her a kiss on the forehead, and set her back down on the floor. This wouldn't do. The machine, or computer, as Mama called it, had to be investigated. Kimba jumped back up on the desk and sat more quietly this time, watching what Mama was doing. There seemed to be some relationship between when Mama's fingers touched a key and when marks appeared on the computer screen. When she went fast, lots of marks appeared. When she stopped, the marks stopped. When she went slowly, so did the marks. And when she took her hands off of the keys to love on Kimba and scratched the itchy places behind her ears and on the back of her neck, nothing happened on the screen. The black mouse thing seemed to move a mark around on the screen. Once Kimba noticed this little mark, it was hard to look away. But try as she might, she couldn't catch it. She'd watch the screen intently and slap her paw down on that little marky thing as fast as she could, but it just kept moving. And she could only get in 1 or 2 good smacks before Mama would move her out of the way. It was all very frustrating. So instead, she concentrated on how the mouse worked. There was lots of shifting it around, which made the mark thing move, and then Mama used her finger to make clicking sounds. This made things happen to the screen. Fascinating. Kimba thought this was an amazing discovery and couldn't wait to pass on the information. For now, she thought it was enough. She let herself be scooped up and cuddled just a little bit and placed on her big pillow up high on the bookshelf for the night. Curling up in the big fluffy softness surrounded by Mama's stuffed animal collection, Kimba couldn't imagine being happier. That's the end of chapter 17. I hope you'll join me again next time. See you then.